Okay, so I'm attempting to do this podcast. Yeah, it's called Golden Hands and the Lunatic. It's an idea I had, but I don't, I'm going to change it because I don't think, well, Adam hasn't, we haven't casted anything together, so, yeah, I'm going to have to change the name because I predict that it will not be the show that I intended for, so. But yeah, I guess we could talk about him. We might as well, right? If that's the topic, sure, we can talk about him while he's not here. Yeah, it's kind of perplexing when you have a friend who's seemingly, his ideology really, or like his makeup is very different from mine. So he's an interesting guy. Yeah, we've worked together for years now. Now that I think about it, yeah, so, but, yeah, what am I attempting to do? It sucks because, my walls are paper thin, so anytime I'm discussing anything, yeah, I think folks can hear it, so it is what it is. Yeah, so this guy, Adam, all right, we'll call him Adam, all right, to be respectful, of his privacy. We'll call him, I guess we'll call him Adam. Yeah, so, and he works at UMass. He's done quite well. He's like a rising star in that business, more so than anyone I've ever really seen at UMass, UMass, shit, I didn't mean UMass. Like I said, we're going to respect privacy. I meant Seabass is the name of the restaurant we work out. It's huge. There's many employees, and we cook a lot of sea bass. So anywho, yeah, I didn't sleep much last night, and I have been sleeping well lately because of the gummies. I've been trying these CBD gummies, and they've been working pretty good. Last night, not so much, and I think it's because I drank just buckets of vegetables last night, so with the juicer, and you shouldn't do it late at night. It keeps you awake. Anyways, let's discuss this Adam fellow. Yeah, he's interesting because everybody has that buddy at work that that they have a lot of fun with, especially in the kitchen. I've discussed this before. It is a very rambunctious, ridiculous environment to be in. And over at Seabass, it's amplified because there's so many employees, so many different countries represented in the staff. It's very diverse. It's not that diverse. It's mostly like Nepali folks who are great. They all work really hard. Or Chinese folks who are also great and also work really hard. Well, it's really a mixed bag. Anyways, it's such a huge establishment, and you're feeding so many people that, it's like nothing else I've ever worked at. It's weird. It's like you don't know what you got till it's gone sort of thing. Anytime I enter a restaurant, I'm always like, what the fuck have I been doing? I miss UMass because, UMass is everything is relative. While you're doing it, you don't think it's easy, but when you leave or go to a restaurant, you're like, Jesus Christ, I missed that UMass. The stakes are lower. There's a lot of people, but UMass can also be difficult because of the sheer volume. You're feeding so many people, and the stakes aren't as low as you think because, you could run out of food, and that's not a good thing to have students show up for, a specific dish they've been looking for and it not be there. Enough students do that, And even if it's like a half an hour without food, if enough students come by and see that you didn't make the cut, you didn't put the food out, then you could get into some trouble. It's not a good look for the dining hall. But anyways, like I said, so yeah, this is my buddy, the guy I laugh with the most at work, and he's very different from me in so many ways. He's an authority figure there, so he can only really, get involved with my shenanigans so much. He has to remain tactful because he's responsible for more at that building. So, but hold on, I shall return. So I think I described this in the first episode, how he's, it's really weird. So when I first met him, he was with a girlfriend named Chelsea, who I had met twice, not officially, but like saw them once at Walmart, and he came down to the Cape with her to eat at the restaurant I worked at, which was very nice of him. I thought it was very, very cool. And she seemed nice, and she was, I don't know what to say. I never really conversed with her, but she seemed like a funny, cool type of person. Although I think, how everybody has that one relationship before the good one that's like toxic and not the good one. I think that's the relationship he was in with her. Although I can't judge, I'm sure there was plenty of good times. But anyways, when I left Seabass and came back, I had found out that they broke up. And, they lived together for 4 years. It was a big deal. And so he was single. And, and I was like jokingly trying to match him up with the manager, but then I found out that he had already been there. It was just a crazy thing. I won't discuss that, but so anyways, what he's come to find out is that, excuse the noise, it's hilarious. Like, so he's a good-looking fella, and he's realizing that girls like him a lot. And it's weird that he's just realizing it because he's 30-something, 32 maybe. So the joke is, it's just a funny dynamic to be involved in. Because he still doesn't believe it. And it's just man, how can I describe this? So it's like he's just realizing that that girls love him, So, God, I apologize. I'm getting text like crazy right now. Jesus. Okay. So he's just realizing that he's got a gift. That's why we called it Golden Hands in the Lunatic, because the joke was that he just realized he has big golden hands and things come easy for him when it comes to women. Now, I don't know if it's because he thinks maybe I grew into my face or whatever it may be. I think it's just that he's single for the first time in a while. And, he's, had in his early 30s. So something happens to a fella in their early 30s, and I think they hit their stride. I think you peak in those years as far as looks go. And, so that coupled with just maturing in general, he tends to have, the attention of all the ladies, but he still thinks it's like a hoax or something. So it's rather funny to talk about. I don't think he believes that it's a real thing or whatever it may be. So we joke about it all the time because it really is crazy. Like, the level that this is at, like, I tell him that literally every single, if there's a female and she's got a pulse, she's going to be after Adam. And it is true. So, and I've watched him realize this and gain some confidence, and then I've watched it go away and then come back and go away. So the dynamic is fun because I'm watching him kind of learn how easy it is to score chicks or whatever in a very shallow. That's a very shallow way of describing it, but that's really what it is. And the thing of it is before all my stress and trauma and what happened with Rachel and the weight gain, and I've had this weird thing happen to my face, and I'm getting older, so I've fallen out of shape. There was a time I shouldn't say that, like most of my life, I haven't had issues or any problems with finding like companionship female-wise. I don't know why. I think it was like a snowball effect. It started, I can't remember a time when it wasn't there. Like, it wasn't as prominent when I was in like 6th, 7th, 8th grade. I was, that was a tough time for everybody. But I certainly didn't have the confidence that showed up sophomore year in high school. I started exercising a lot, like lifting weights and shit, playing football, and it did wonders for my confidence. And ever since then, I just kind of, I don't know. I think I have a false sense of confidence in many ways, but it usually serves me well. Like, it's almost like ignorance is bliss, maybe, or, I don't know, I guess, I never thought I would land Rachel. I thought she was way too out of my league, and it was like being in love with a movie star or something. I was in love with this girl I worked with, and I just thought, there's no chance that this girl would ever even look in my direction. But I also had that thing in the back of my mind that historically I haven't come across someone that actually really was like that far out of my reach. I don't think, I don't know, or maybe I don't pay attention to that. I don't know. But anyways, I was overweight, very overweight. I was newly clean off of drugs, like 3 years sober, and had just started to really be sober. And I signed up for school, and I was doing really well in school, and I started working at this place, and I saw Rachel, and anyways, this isn't about me, but I spent a year getting myself back. Like, I lost 60 pounds and all the shit, and my confidence just skyrocketed. So, but since I've lost that, so I like watching Adam in his prime. It's nice. It's like reminds me of old days, and but it's funny trying to convince him to like adopt. You can't instill like what's it called? Like I don't know. I'm very self-conscious and very my self-esteem isn't high at all. But when it comes to like socially, my social self-esteem is way out of whack. Like, it should be lower than it is. But it's always served me well. So I'm trying to like